Hey everybody, my name is Rydo, and Whispers of the Old Gods expansion is out, so it is time for deck rebuilds. So today we will be making a new standard hunter deck.
If
New
you make
deck.
a wild deck, you can only use it in wild games.
They are intent on telling you that each time you're on wild. So we'll click here to the Year of the Kraken symbol, which will change every year I assume, and we are now going to make a hunter deck with the new cards that are in standard play. So we have the deck recipes here. I could do Classic Hunter, I could do Death Trap, I could do Whispers of Death. One would assume Whispers of Death is a new recipe full of cards from the new expansion. I have 27 of 30 cards there. I have 28 of 30 there, and all 30 of 30 here. But I want to do a custom deck because I want to go it my own way. It'd be kind of silly for me to do a recipe and just be done with the recording then, wouldn't it? So let's see what standard cards we have to try and figure out what strategies we can have here. So what you can see over here is my Hearthstone deck tracker app showing you what I had in my old hunter deck before the new expansion. And it would be a lot of Brave Archer, lots of beasts, lots of traps. Uh, that's pretty much it. It had Elice or Elice LC Starseeker. Uh, and I don't even know why I had that card. I put that card in like every deck just to play with it. But in all honesty, you're gonna have to play really well and have some very specific cards for that to work. That strategy to get the golden monkey to work. And even if you get the golden monkey, it replaces all your cards with legendary cards then, and then you're just playing with a random selection of legendary cards, which is no strategy to be seen. So as far as the expansion for hunter cards, we did get some stuff, things like Infest, but I think mostly we just got beasts like that. So it might just be a slight combination to think about. What new beasts would you want in your deck versus getting rid of some of the old beasts? This one I want to definitely try Call of the Wild because I just am not sure what that third animal companion would be. I know one of them's going to be a bear, one of them's going to be a boar, and I just don't know what this animation is, what this picture is indicating. So I'll throw that in the deck. This one has, whenever this attacks and kills a minion, it can attack again. I'll definitely take that. There are some other beasts that I don't actually have, like Godzilla, and like this is a great beast if you had it. This is a decent one, and let's see. Trigger a death rattle effect. It looks like you might actually be able to do a death rattle somewhat deck here, but where's Godzilla? Maybe it's banned. It must be a banned card. Ooh, interesting. Well, let's see. What I want to do then is type the word beasts here, and let's see what we've got. I think you'd still want this because there's some beasts I just don't have that would be useful for. And there's some other things that kind of make sense, like giving a beast charge makes sense. Add a random beast to your hand maybe would make sense, but I don't think it actually does. Other beasts get +1 attack. This guy for sure. Unleash the Hounds, always with that guy. That strategy makes sense. But I want to particularly look here. What beasts do we have in the neutral deck? So you have something here that's like a 4/1. That's a new Whispers of the Old Gods. So the Duskborn might replace some other beasts if you're looking just for a 2. The Owl has become more expensive, so it is now a 3 mana card versus the Bear. So, but I think in this deck you still need it because you're not going to have any other silences. We could play King Mukla here for cheap, and then definitely that guy. Give your opponent, give your other minions +1/+1. Add 2 bananas to your own hand. Here's the other monkey that I just got, Whispers of the Old Gods, Mukla, Tyrant of the Veil. If you control a beast, gain Taunt. That's something to think about having. Or this new card that has Wind Fury. This one is actually a really cheap card, so I'll throw that in there. Are there any other beasts we would want? I normally would play this, but I don't think I have room for it. There's 4 more slots and we haven't put any spells or traps in the deck at all. So that's just the beast strategy. Yeah. Maybe put that in there. Whenever you summon a beast, draw a card. Summon a random beast there. Core Rager. I was playing him. He sometimes worked rather well. He's actually a pretty decent card. But I don't even have room for him. I'm having too many options here. So I want a Fire Bat. Fire Bat is a 2/1 that does 1 damage versus this as charge. There's no reason in the world you would take Stone Tusk Boar anymore. You just wouldn't. It's much better to do Fire Bat. So bye bye the Stone Tusk Boar. Hello the Fire Bat. Until it gets banned in a couple years. Hunter's Mark got nerfed. It used to be a 0 mana spell. No big deal though. I don't know what a Mastiff is, but it's probably fine. A fine card to have, so I'm gonna take out an Owl and play this card. One of those, so I can figure out what it is. Do I want Bear Traps for 2 versus Bears for 3? I guess I do. So 2 Bear Traps instead of the Bear. Do I want Misdirection? No. Explosive Traps? Yes. So what? We'll get rid of this guy, I guess, for Explosive Trap. I think we're gonna end up getting rid of the Fossilized Devil Soar too. Let's see. Next card. Here you have like a 3 that's a 2/5, so is there a beast that's better? I don't know. I think maybe the truth of the matter would be that the Carrion Grub is better than the King Mukla. I don't know. I'll stick with King Mukla, but that's kind of confusing. Give all your Death Rattle minions +1/+1. So yeah, you could do a Death Rattle deck, but you'd have to have a lot of Death Rattle characters here, and I think that means dipping heavily into the neutral cards that have Death Rattle. And frankly, none of the Death Rattle things line up in any real fashion. They all do kind of different things. So I don't see a strategy that combines there. So this deck is mostly just being experimental with the new cards. It's heavily focused on Beast. I could see maybe trying, if you had a bunch of Death Rattle cards, doing that. But nothing here indicates to me that I should play the Cthulhu characters, because none of those are Beast, or not all of those are Beasts. Maybe one of them is. Like, this isn't a Beast. So, I will probably end up making a Cthulhu deck, but I'm not sure which character is going to end up getting it. Like, this isn't a Beast, and you'd think it would be. I need 2 of those for that to even work. It's too dangerous to even put this in your deck unless you have a second copy, so I need to spend 400 gold specifically just for that. Yeah, Cthulhu's not a Beast either. And so I guess that's our standard deck. No real strategy here, and it's kind of something I've noticed is we are having this occurrence where if you make a standard deck, you really don't end up with a deck that's full of crazy mechanics that would really work. It's just kind of standard stuff. Surprisingly enough, the standard decks feel very standard. Not a ton of trickery or card interaction going on. I'm not seeing how you could play a 5-card combination. So my Hearthstone deck tracker doesn't have this new deck automatically. I have to put it in or import it. So it's going to compare my old deck, and any cards that overlap will be darkened out. Let's see. Do I have a great starting strategy? No, but I have a couple of relatively low mana cards, I think. It's not a big deal to skip your first turn, really. Just end it. It is a big deal if you're skipping your second and third turn, and the other player is doing something at all. So, here we can start with this one to get a 3/3 bear, which will then die. So, hopefully I'll be able to get this guy out before this guy kills the bear. Well, I guess he played that right. So I'll just play this and end the turn. Maybe I should have played this and this. The problem is when you play the Scavenging Hyena, everybody knows it gets +2/+1 for each friendly beast that dies. So they're really well aware that they're gonna try and kill those beasts as soon as possible.
Tazdingo! Yes!
Go ahead and play this, get another beast. Chicken? Alright. So this is gonna be a little weird. Because if I kill this one, then this one would be a 2/2. If I do this, then this becomes a 1/1. If I attack here, I think I have to do this. This is strange, the way I'm doing things, but I think that's the right way. I could be totally wrong about that.
Tazdingo! Yes!
So play this guy, see what random beast we get. That's why you play this guy. The beast. The beast. So here we are on the 6th turn. We've got a 10-7. Awesome. Let's go ahead and hit with this guy. And hit with this guy. And then hit with this guy. And in the turn. So it's a very beast game deck. This guy has Wind Fury plus that. Ooh. Well, let's see what happens. Job done. I imagine he would try to kill this guy because that's the only one he's even got a chance on. Well, he could kill this guy now. Kinda doesn't matter though. Of course, that's a little bit of a problem. This or this. I think what we want to do is this. So these abilities work quite fine for victory. Nice. Still a lot of cards in that deck I want to play with, but I think that's what it is as far as my standard hunter deck. Just a slight comparison, and I've won 5 Old Gods pack, which is interesting. I don't know when I'll open those. Win 7 more games in standard format. They really want you to play in standard format here. They're giving me extra quests. I had 4 quests at one point. So I'm gonna have a bunch of packs to open, and I don't know when I'm gonna do that. Interesting. Anywho, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. We will have the next video out in a few minutes in which I make a Hunter in the Wild, a wild deck for Hunter. And then finally, down below in the description box, I have links to all my social media sites. So friend and follow me on all of those. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.